Seoul's entertainment industry woke up to an unusual tremor the morning the news broke. It was not the typical rush surrounding a new drama, a casting announcement, or a celebrity scandal. This time, the shockwave came from something far more personal and far more unexpected. Several reputable Korean outlets, including Dispatch Korea, Sports Chosen, JTBC Entertainment News, and TV Report, simultaneously released reports citing what they described as an extremely credible insider. The claim was simple, yet powerful enough to set the entire industry ablaze. Jung Hae-in and Jung So-min had reportedly been discussing marriage seriously for months. The headline spread like a spark touching dry grass. Within an hour, online communities were overflowing with reactions. Search rankings skyrocketed as netizens typed their names repeatedly, hoping to find confirmation or denial. People were stunned. For years, both actors had maintained low-profile personal lives. Jung Hae-in, known for his gentle persona and introspective nature, had always avoided revealing anything beyond his work. Jung So-min, beloved for her warm presence and nuanced acting, had similarly kept her private affairs hidden from the public eye. The sudden suggestion that the two were considering marriage felt like uncovering a story the world didn't realize it was missing. Major news anchors interrupted entertainment segments to give quick updates. Radio shows brought in commentators. Even veteran journalists dismissed celebrity romances as fleeting, admitted that this case was different. One reporter at Sports Chosen wrote, "The credibility of the source and the details provided suggest something far more substantial than a baseless rumor." The source, whose identity remained confidential due to industry regulations, had been described as someone directly connected to both parties. The insider claimed that the two actors had been discreetly nurturing a deep relationship and that marriage has become a genuine point of discussion rather than a mere possibility. The statement alone was enough to send the media into a frenzy. Fans reacted with a blend of excitement, shock, and disbelief. Some celebrated the possibility of one of the industry's most admired pairings becoming real. Others questioned whether the rumor was exaggerated. Many simply waited, refreshing their screens in hopes of a response from either star or their agencies. But as the morning progressed, both management companies refrained from issuing clear confirmations. Instead, they released cautious statements. "We cannot confirm anything at this time. Please understand this involves the artists' private lives." The vagueness only fueled speculation further. To understand how this unexpected twist gained so much momentum, one must look back at the subtle markers in their history, moments that had gone unnoticed, but now appeared to form a coherent storyline. They had never officially worked together in a drama. The two actors had crossed paths several times through overlapping industry circles. A few years back, both attended a private film workshop in Hae-in hosted by a respected director known for mentoring young actors. A staff member who had been present at the time recalled their interaction. "They weren't overly friendly or flirtatious," the staff member recounted, "but they were comfortable. They spoke with ease, as if they shared a similar rhythm." At that time, no one thought much of it. Later, they were seen at the same private gallery opening in Cheongdam, though they did not arrive together. Cameras captured brief, polite exchanges between them. At the moment, everyone assumed it was normal industry courtesy. Fans who revisited those clips after the rumor broke commented that their smiles held unexpected warmth, something people had not noticed before. Small details like these, once insignificant, suddenly aligned like puzzle pieces forming a much clearer picture. Online fan communities began to compile past interactions, discussing how their personalities complemented each other. Jung Hae-in's steady, introspective nature seemed to balance well with Jung So-min's witty and grounded charm. Many netizens commented that, personality-wise, they were a surprisingly fitting match. However, the true turning point, according to the insider, had been their increasingly frequent private meetings in Seoul over the past year. These meetings, which had gone unnoticed by the public, reportedly took place in Seongsu-dong, Mapo, and occasionally in Hanam. The locations were intentionally quiet, often cafes or restaurants known for their privacy. The source claimed these were not casual gatherings, but discussions that gradually shifted from work, to life, to long-term commitments. Another insider from a well-known talent agency, though not directly connected with either actor, shared insights into their personalities. They are both very thoughtful people. Neither of them takes relationships lightly. If they are truly discussing marriage, It means the feelings run deep. Despite these whispers, nothing prepared the public for the quotes that would soon emerge. Both actors, in previous interviews unrelated to romance, had once shared views on love and marriage that now resurfaced in striking relevance. During a promotional interview last year, Jung Hae-in was asked about his thoughts on commitment. His answer, now recirculating across Korean media, seemed to take on new meaning. "I have always taken relationships seriously," he had said. "If I choose to love someone, I do it with sincerity. And if marriage becomes part of that journey, I want to approach it with certainty, not impulse." At the time, fans felt it was simply the mature viewpoint of an actor known for his introspective roles. Now, the quote was being dissected as a clue. Similarly, in a 2022 interview for a variety program, Jung So-min had shared a perspective on marriage. "Should feel calm yet meaningful," she said. "I value stability and kindness. If I marry someday, it will be with someone who truly understands me, someone I can talk to about everything, even the difficult things." Those words were now echoing across every entertainment portal, accompanied by headlines suggesting she may have found exactly that person. The question remained, when did the relationship shift from quiet companionship to something deeper? According to the original Insider, the transition began last spring. Both actors were navigating demanding schedules, yet they reportedly found comfort in confiding in each other. Their conversations grew longer. Meetings became more intentional. One detail stood out: during a tough period in her schedule, Jung So-min was said to have received emotional support from someone described as a gentle, steady presence. Many now believe that person was Jung Hae-in, manager from a third-party entertainment agency, who had observed them at a mutual friends gathering. Add more color to the story. "They were not openly affectionate," the manager said, "but there was a quiet understanding between them, the kind that comes from shared trust. You can recognize it when you see it." Industry professionals noted that both actors are not the type to rush into romance, let alone marriage. Their maturity and cautious approach only added credibility to the rumor. People close to them described both as individuals who value honesty, stability, and long-term thinking, qualities that align strongly with considerations of marriage. As the morning of the news leak unfolded, media outlets worked to confirm every detail. Batch Korea reported that they had been tracking the situation for weeks but had chosen not to publish until multiple sources validated the claim. Sports Soul wrote that, according to someone familiar with the actors, the conversations between them have not been light or superficial. They are discussing the future with sincerity. And yet, the lack of denial from their agencies spoke even louder. In the world of Korean entertainment, agencies are quick to deny false dating rumors. The absence of a firm denial usually signals a situation still unfolding, or a desire to give the artist privacy while navigating sensitive matters. Public curiosity grew more intense by the hour. Social media saw heated debates. Were the actors already engaged? Did their families know? Had wedding venues been considered? Fans revisited past interviews, searching for hints. TikTok compilations of their interactions reached millions of views. Entertainment analysts speculated about how this marriage, if true, could reshape the industry image of both stars. The most gripping element of all was the mystery. Neither actor had spoken directly about the rumor yet. Their silence only deepened the intrigue. As the first half of the story closes, the atmosphere across Korea feels charged with anticipation. The world is waiting for answers. The media continues investigating. And somewhere in the midst of this storm, Jung Hae-in and Jung So-min remain quiet. Their next move unknown. Their silence more powerful than any confirmation. Entertainment industry tried to regain its footing after the initial shock. More layers of information quietly surfaced throughout the day. Reporters from multiple newsrooms began reaching out to individuals in the actors' inner circles, hoping to confirm whether the rumor was rooted in reality or merely a magnified whisper. What emerged was a complex but consistent picture of two people who had moved far beyond casual dating. The phrase seriously discussing marriage was no longer seen as sensational speculation, but a plausible description supported by subtle testimonies, industry patterns, and the unmistakable tone of the actor's previous comments. Mid-afternoon, when a well-respected entertainment journalist from JTBC Entertainment Desk, known for avoiding baseless reports, released an article stating that the outlet had spoken with someone who had interacted with both actors multiple times in the past year. According to this source, The couple's relationship had deepened in a way that suggested long-term commitment rather than a fleeting romance. The journalist's article stated, "They treat each other with gentleness and respect. There is nothing rushed or impulsive about their dynamic. If they are indeed discussing marriage, it aligns perfectly with the way they naturally grow relationships." This was the first time that a major newsroom validated the internal consistency of the rumor instead of treating it as speculation. The public's reaction intensified immediately. While, on social media, fans began re-evaluating old clips and behind-the-scenes footage. In one video from a film festival last year, Jung Hae-in and Jung So-min had stood near each other during a group photo. What had then seemed like a simple exchange of polite smiles was now being replayed repeatedly, with viewers calling it a moment full of unspoken warmth. A clip from an awards show made rounds again. A camera caught Jung Hae-in glancing briefly in So-min's direction with a soft expression. Fans now speculated that the two had shared a private friendship long before anything public emerged. But beyond fan analysis, truly elevated the seriousness of the matter was the involvement of family. A new detail circulated that evening. Relatives from both sides had reportedly met earlier this year at a small traditional restaurant in Gangnam. It was not a formal meeting arranged for engagement purposes. Described as a warm, comfortable gathering where both families expressed positive impressions of each other. A source close to the restaurant staff, who preferred to remain anonymous due to privacy concerns, said, "They looked like ordinary families enjoying dinner. There was laughter, soft conversation. No tension at all. If you saw them, you would not think it was their first meeting." Though not officially confirmed, the rumor gained credibility because it echoed known patterns in the entertainment industry. Typically, when two actors are approaching a serious phase in their relationship, families meet quietly, far from the public eye. Meetings often happen months before any official announcements and are kept discreet until the couple is ready to reveal their plans. Another layer of insight came from an industry veteran, actor who had worked with both actors at different points in their careers. When reached for comment by TV Report, he said, "Both Hae-in and So-min are mature individuals. Neither of them treats relationships as temporary. They found someone compatible. It is natural for them to consider marriage. They are at a stage in life where stability matters more than spectacle." He added an observation from his years of experience: actors like them, who value sincerity over glamour, only get caught up in brief romances. Their relationships, once formed, tend to be lasting. Public was then reminded of another moment that had originally gone unnoticed. During a magazine photoshoot last year, Jung So-min was asked about her thoughts on building a family. Her answer was soft, thoughtful, and filled with a gentle optimism. She had said, "I think building a family with the right person is one of the most meaningful steps in life. I don't believe it needs to happen early or late. It just needs to be with someone whose heart feels like home." Her words resurfaced across every major entertainment portal, interpreted now as something more than a casual reflection. Reporters also recalled an earlier interview with Jung Hae-in, in which he spoke candidly about his view of settling down. When asked if he envisioned marriage in his future, he answered, "Of course. I hope to live a peaceful life someday, surrounded by people I love. Marriage is not something I fear. It's something I want to approach with clarity, respect, and confidence." These statements, when placed alongside the newly emerging details, painted a convincing picture. By early evening, speculation reached its peak. Fans wondered whether an official announcement was imminent. Some questioned whether the couple had already made a private decision. Others speculated about possible wedding venues. Analyzing typical choices among Korean celebrities, the Shilla Hotel, Aston House at Walker Hill, Grand Hyatt Seoul. Online discussions even explored whether the actors might choose a private destination wedding abroad, far from the flashing lights of reporters. Yet, amidst the storm of speculation, the two central figures remained silent, until an unexpected piece of information surfaced. Dispatch Korea released a follow-up article claiming that someone close to Jung Hae-in had offered a discreet comment when asked about the rumor. The comment was brief but revealing: he is not the type to speak lightly about the future. If he is talking about it at all, then he means it. Later, a similar comment surfaced from someone associated with Jung So-min. "She is thoughtful," the source said. "She would never discuss marriage unless it was in a serious, heartfelt context." The combined weight of these remarks only pushed the narrative further toward authenticity. As the night deepened in Seoul, Another development took place. A journalist from one of Korea's most reputable entertainment desks revealed that the couple's agencies were preparing a joint internal discussion to determine whether an official response should be released the following day. The journalist clarified that this did not indicate confirmation. Rather reflected the seriousness with which the agencies were handling the situation. Meanwhile, entertainment analysts appeared on television to discuss the broader implications of a potential marriage between the two actors. They highlighted how both had built careers rooted in sincerity rather than sensationalism. They pointed out that both possessed reputations for kindness and humility, admired by colleagues and staff alike. Experts also explained how Korean audiences typically respond positively to marriages grounded in authenticity, especially involving actors who avoid unnecessary controversy. Late-night segment on Edo Day News. A well-known cultural commentator said, "This is not a typical dating rumor. The tone, the timing, and the behavior of the agencies suggest that something significant is happening behind the scenes. Whether or not marriage is imminent, emotional depth between them seems unquestionable." The industry continued to buzz. The most intriguing moments came from the resurfaced direct quotes from the actors themselves, words spoken months or even years earlier, but now echoing with a new resonance. Jung Hae-in once said in a television interview, "If I decide to love someone, I want to create a relationship built on respect and understanding. I don't need extravagance. Just need quiet sincerity." Jung So-min, in a similar sentiment, had said during a radio appearance, "The right person is someone who gives peace, even without trying. Marry someday. It will be because that person feels like home." These quotes alone would have been powerful. But the story grew deeper when yet another source claimed that during a conversation with her close circle, Jung So-min had expressed gratitude for someone who had supported her emotionally during a difficult period earlier this year. The source did not reveal the identity of the person. Many believed it referred to Jung Hae-in. All of these threads wove together into a compelling narrative that felt too consistent to ignore. As the clock approached midnight, the digital landscape of Korea was still in motion. Portals updated their headlines every hour. Online communities debated with increasing intensity. Fans in and outside Korea posted messages of support, saying they would welcome any decision the actors made. Some expressed nervousness, fearing that excessive speculation might place strain on the couple. But most agreed on one thing: if the rumors were true, they hoped the actors would be allowed to love freely and settle into their future without pressure. In the final hours of the day, Sports Chosen reported one more exclusive detail. A friend of the couple, described as someone who knows both well but is not directly tied to the entertainment industry, shared a comment that resonated deeply. "They are not rushing anything," the friend said. "They are taking their time, thinking carefully, talking openly. Marriage happens. It will be because they genuinely trust each other." The friend then added a line that stayed with readers long after the article was published: "They look at each other with quiet certainty. You only see that look between people who are considering a shared future." And so, the night ended not with confirmation, but with a profound sense of anticipation. The entire industry waited, breath held, for the next move. Would the agencies speak? Would the actors remain silent? Or would a surprise announcement appear without warning? For now, the only certainty was that something meaningful was unfolding behind closed doors. Whether it was marriage or something just shy of it, the emotional truth could be felt through every report, every quote, every whisper between insiders. Seoul slipped into darkness. The city lights reflected off Han River. And somewhere beyond those shimmering waters were two actors whose story had suddenly become the nation's newest source of fascination. Whatever came next, the world would be watching, quietly, intensely, and with the same mixture of hope and curiosity that accompanies all great turning points in the lives of beloved stars.